Left. Face. Parade. Press. You want a picture of us? You want a picture of us? Okay. Color guard. Attention. Raise your flag. Look at the camera. Smile. Right there. Color guard. Present. Start.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Yeah. 1 second.
Pull the switch.
Pull the switch. Thank you.
When in doubt, turn it on. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here today celebrating Flag Day right here in beautiful downtown Batavia. Can we get a round of applause for all the people who came out to celebrate this amazing thing right here in the heart of our community? And if you can keep that applause going, I'd like to just thank the community band behind us under the direction of Mr. John Heath. Aren't they amazing? Can we get a round of applause for our band members? We are delighted to be here today. I'm Austin Dempsey. I've had the honor of the last 8 years working very hard to bring us the Flag Day Monument with a bunch of other dedicated, hard-working volunteers who really treasure Batavia and our patriotic connection to this great country. In 1916, after 2,188 speeches on patriotism, the petitioning of 5 sitting U.S. presidents, and just thousands of essays and articles to the paper, Dr. Bernard Sagrand, a dentist from Batavia, successfully was able to get President Woodrow Wilson to dedicate today, June 14th, in honor of our great flag. Dr. Sagrand was a patriot, and we are delighted to have him as one of our famous residents here in Batavia. And so I'd like to thank the Dr. Sagrand family. There are still some Sagrands in Batavia. Do we have any Sagrands present? Last year we actually had a few show up, and it was great. But I'd also like to make sure that we thank the Marquette Assembly 188 Color Guard, our great color guard from the awesome Knights of Columbus. Can we get a round of applause? We are so fortunate to have a great group of hardworking men here in our community who just do so many amazing things for Batavia and those in need. And so the Knights of Columbus and the Marquette Assembly are just amazing. But I'd like to take a very special moment here to honor those representatives from whom this Flag Day Monument was built. Could I please have any veterans or active military members stand and be recognized for their service? On behalf of all of us from Batavia, the Fox Valley area, and a grateful nation, thank you for your service to our country. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for such fine, awesome people who have served our great nation, so thank you. And at this point in time, I'd like to direct your attention to the flagpole of the Flag Day Monument for tonight's flag raising ceremony. Assisting us with the honors this evening are veterans Steve Hunter and Jeff Swanson, as well as Batavia Police Officer Jacob Wollenweber and Fire Department member from Batavia Fire Department, Joe Zielik. Can we all face the flag for the flag raising? Thank you very much. You may all be seated, and I'm happy to welcome to the stage a man who doesn't need much of an introduction here. It is our fearless leader in Batavia, our mayor, the Honorable Jeffrey Shelkey, who has been mayor of our community for 4+ decades. Can we get a nice round of applause for our mayor, Mr. Jeffrey Shelkey?
Well, thank you. I have been asked, as most of you know, I co-authored the second edition of the Batavia history book. And so I got into some conversations with some of the folks that were old enough way back in the 1970s that they could remember when Dr. Segran lived in town. And so they shared with me some of his attitudes and ideas and things that he did when he was in Batavia. And he was part of a national voice that was out there that probably maybe was 20 people or so that really were pushing for the May 14th to be American Flag Day, which was the day that Betsy Ross supposedly brought the first American flag to Congress and got it approved. And so they got on this idea that we needed to have a National Flag Day. And it was across the country, and so there was no one individual, but Dr. Segran was listed as probably one of the biggest and most vocal voices in the crowd to do this idea. And so in basically I believe it was 1916, we were about to get ourselves into World War I, and President Woodrow Wilson was in search of things that would build patriotism in our country. And he grabbed a hold of this idea and he proclaimed the first American Flag Day to try to help build American patriotism. And I think there was quite a bit of reaction to that. And Flag Day got created. And so it's been with us in some form or fashion ever since. But I remember talking with some of the old timers who used to say that they would go down on South Batavia Avenue and talk to the good doctor down there while he was still living in Batavia. And he would express his ideas of what Flag Day should become. And as I stand here tonight, I think the descriptions I heard was pretty much what he had in mind, that the community came together and we took a particular night and paid some specific high attention to the American flag and what it means to us as a country. So if he was here tonight, I think he'd have a big smile on his face because this is exactly what he wanted. And then to have this great band behind us playing all this patriotic music, that just would feed even much more into it. There was an event that occurred in 1916 that if you want to know more about it, we've got it now in a sheet over here that has some pictures and shows. But in the school year of 1915 and 1916, Dr. Segran had a daughter by the name of Beth. And she came up to what was then the newly built Batavia High School and was in the 8th grade class. And one of the girls that came into the class with her, whose name was Marion Moon, ends up being the daughter of the then new minister of the Batavia United Methodist Church. And so these two girls were in the same class. We have a picture of the girls in the same class. Well, at the end of the day, Beth Segran can claim the honor that her father was probably the biggest voice in the room in the nation to create the American Flag Day idea. And Marion Moon even takes us out of this world because Marion Moon ends up being the mother of Buzz Aldrin, who was the U.S. astronaut who landed on the moon and put the American flag on the moon as the very first act of the American government at that particular time. So that truly is a historic, very historic picture of those two girls in that 8th grade class. Ironically, I'm not sure we're over with this yet because in the last 2 or 3 years, because I had co-authored a history book and whatever, I've been receiving telephone calls from script writers in California in the movie industry. And there currently is a movie being made or written about the devil at the White City at the World's Fair in 1895 in Chicago, where this madman killed a number of young girls. Well, unfortunately, one of the girls that was killed was a relation of Dr. Segran. And he went in and at the time of her abduction and got involved in it. And if you read the book, he's mentioned in there on a number of occasions. Well, Hollywood, I get the impression they're going to put him in this movie that's being made, and the Devil at the White City is going to be, and we're going to see I hope a very positive image of Dr. Segran, but he's going to be in some very dark circumstances, and so that's being made. And now more recently, I got another call from another group that's working on a TV series about the Devil at the White City, which will not be published or produced till after the first movie is made. But they're asking questions about Dr. Segran, and I tell them, well, the Devil at the White City is 1895, and Segran in Batavia meeting Buzz Aldrin's mother, that was 20 years later, so you're going to have a hard time tying that in. But they said, well, in Hollywood we have different ways we can have flashbacks of imagination or whatever, so I'm not sure where this is all going, but I got to believe Batavia may be hearing more Dr. Segran, Buzz Aldrin, Marion Moon, such conversations as we go forward, because the world is now, almost 100 years later, they've found this out, and now we're going to put it into the motion picture industry. So it's a nice problem to have. I think Batavia will look okay, but it's something that we as a community, I think, should be aware of. So my other detail is, you want to bring this up to me here? A number of years ago, the city of Batavia created the Dr. Bernard Segran Patriot Award. And so far, we have given this away to 8 different people, and tonight we have a new award of this particular plaque. And this one tonight is going to go to the Batavia Community Band and its executive director, Mr. Heath, for all the good work that he has done. And there'll be a plaque on here with that on. Yeah, we got to get over here, I guess.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think there's not a better selection, in my opinion, for this award this year, given what this band now is doing all the times that they're beyond the holidays. They're coming down here in the summer and giving us concerts. They come in December and welcome Santa Claus to town. These are a great group of folks, and it's totally all volunteer, and they just like to play, and they got this great guy here as a director who knows what he's doing. So we've really got a winner situation. So I want to, Mayor, thank Dr. John Heath for what he's doing, and also thank all the members of the band, and I'm told that we have more members of this band than we've ever had, and there seems to be more coming. They hear about this good thing and want to get involved in it. So I think if Bernard Segran could be here tonight and he hears all these stories about what Batavia's doing for patriotism and Flag Day, he'd have the biggest smile on his face that you ever could imagine. So thank you all for a very, very nice setting that put all this together.
Unbelievable. Thank you. I'm not usually lost for words. This is just absolutely stellar. I mean, from my own personal standpoint, having been here now for 30 years at the high school and everything, this community is just so phenomenal. And the fact that things like this and all the history here, and just that everyone takes pride in it, is just phenomenal. But then to have all these people behind me that come in their free time to pick up their instruments again and to play is just, it's a joy. Even every rehearsal's a joy for me, but this is just unbelievable. And on behalf of the band, we accept this with, we accept this with great humility, and hopefully we have many more years to provide music for all of you. Thank you so much. No, only the first version.
What an incredible group we've got behind us. To have this many volunteers here in our community sharing part of their talent with all of us. They do it so often at so many different places, including our 4th of July fireworks show every year, which is a 70-plus year community tradition in Batavia. So we're just delighted to have such a great band. One more great round of applause for our awesome band members. Thank you. I've got another very special guest to introduce tonight. He comes from us, he hails all the way from Nebraska, and he came in today special to attend this event. So please help me in welcoming Mr. Chris Heisler, President and CEO of the Honor Network, to share us the story of the United States Honor Flag, which he has brought with him for all of us to see. This is really quite an amazing thing. I believe I've heard that this flag has been traveled over 5 million miles. Is that correct? More than that. Chris here is going to give you the actual details. Can we get a round of applause for Chris, who came in from Nebraska to be here in Batavia today?
So in this container here, we call this container Harwood 1, but inside is a special, unique American flag. And it's really no different than any other American flag that you see here on the pole that you guys are holding. The difference between those flags and this flag is its individual history. Since 9/11, this flag has attended over 1,000 funerals for police officers, for firefighters, members of the military. Just did a funeral yesterday in Minneapolis for a police officer. Just prior to that, a Connecticut State police officer. Already this year, I've been to over 33 funerals. Same flag. All these heroes are getting honored with it. This flag has been on the very last space shuttle, the International Space Station. Went to Iraq, Afghanistan, around the planet more than 215 times. This is a single American flag we call the United States Honor Flag. Every single time it's touched, each and every time we use brand new custom gloves. We've never used them twice. When we go to the funerals and memorial services like we do for a police officer, a firefighter, or a veteran, we give all those gloves to the family. They get to keep those, a piece of the history. And a lot of times the fallen heroes either being cremated or interned with those gloves on. When we have the opportunity to come here, part of our mission is to honor, educate, and inspire. This flag is a master key that's gotten me into so many schools across the country, from universities to elementary schools, making 14-year-old boys cry because of what this flag means and what it represents. I think we need that now in our schools than we've ever had before. Is that true? So we use this flag at schools and we get to tell the stories of what our heroes have done and the honor that these American flags represent, and integrity and loyalty to the greatest nation on the planet. I'm going to be over here with the flag. If you guys want to come by and take a picture or learn a little bit more about it, I'll be happy to tell you some more information about it, but I'll be right over here next to the tables in the shade.
Chris, thank you for joining us this evening. We're honored to have you and that flag here in Batavia, and I do encourage everybody when our program ends to take a minute and go see what is really becoming a piece of American history and an icon right there. And that is kind of why we're here today. June 14th is Flag Day, and a group of Batavians worked very hard to build a multi-million-dollar monument here in our community in honor of Dr. Segran, but more importantly in honor of what Dr. Segran stood for. What that flag means in hues of red, white, and blue, that flag is a symbol of hope and of freedom everywhere in this world. It honors the coffins of our fallen heroes. It leads parades. Whether you're left, you're right, you're blue or red, or any color in between, we are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that is our flag. I am honored to welcome a very special member of the Fox Valley Patriotic Organization to stage, Mr. Marty Callahan, who is Batavia's very own vexillologist, which is a mouthful. But Marty's going to tell us what a vexillologist is, and he's going to correct me if I got it wrong. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming to the stage a man who was very instrumental in getting that monument built, Mr. Marty Callahan.
Good evening, everybody. The monument was built last fall, but in many ways, its actual purpose is just beginning. Because we think of this as a monument, but it's really not. It is an outdoor classroom where you are going to come and learn about the flag and why it is important. The flag is a representation of all of us, but in order to know who we are, we need to know where we came from, where we are, and where we're going. The monument is a representation timeline of all of the events that have occurred in America since 1776. And that's really important because we are coming up upon the 250th anniversary of America in just 2 years. And with that, we have a lot of opportunities to learn about our country and ourselves. Many ways that we can do that are we, as an organization through the Fox Valley Patriotic Organization, give presentations about the flag to civic groups, classes, etc. We are also out there discussing with veterans and obtaining their living histories, knowing why they served and what the flag meant to them. If you'll go to our website or BATV, or even on our Facebook page, you'll see a lot of their stories in there. And that's Patriotic Squirrel. We also have, along with that, being able to have the veterans tell those stories. We're going to set up tonight a video camera where you can describe to other people what the flag means to you. Because the flag itself is just a piece of cloth. And that's all it is until we place, as Austin said, our hopes and dreams and desires onto it. And when you look at the flag, you know it's iconic. It has a brand. But more importantly, that flag is made up of individual fibers and threads. Those fibers and threads are each of our stories interwoven together, and that is what makes America. When we're done tonight, we'll also be able to give tours so that you can have an idea of all of the features and the design elements that went into it, and we hope come away with a deeper appreciation than what a lot of people have thought, oh, I thought that was just going to be a flagpole, until they get in there and learn what it is. And like when you're out there teaching people about it, the best way to become a good teacher is to become a good student yourself and learn about each other and us. Thank you.
And now we're delighted to have the community band play us another song, and after that we will have a couple more thank yous. Then we'll talk about all the interactive opportunities for tonight. There are a lot of things to see and do, most importantly to spend time as a community together. Everybody who's down here is patriotic. They love this city, they love this country, and so spending time with their neighbors is great. But next, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our community band who's going to play another number for us. As always, just amazing. Thank you guys for being here and sharing your talents with us. This night would not be possible without the hard work of a lot of dedicated volunteers, so I want to briefly thank a few of those. The Fox Valley Patriotic Organization is a group that built the monument, and we have 2 board members who are retiring tonight. So if they are here, if they could stand and be recognized, could we get Stefan Steiberl and Jake Domain, if they're here, to stand and be recognized? Otherwise, we'll give them a nice round of applause. And also, tonight was put on by the Fox Valley, the Batavia Flag Day Committee, Mr. Marty Callahan, Janet Jungles, Nan Phillips, Marge Brown, Lori Bodeman, Jeff Swanson, Steve Hunter, Jason Schumacher, Maureen Marin, and Linda Shelke. Can we get a round of applause for those who worked hard to put today together? And as I previewed earlier, there is a lot of things to see and do today. But if you have not had a chance to check out the monument, there are almost 400 bronze plaques on the monument. Each one of them has a QR code. Every single one of them tells a story, and an important story. But today, if interested, Marty Callahan will give you a tour of the monument and walk you through all the symbolism that goes with it. At the small but promising beginnings of a great nation at 1776, when you stand into the monument, you look down and see the first flag of our great nation. And as the wall continues to rise till we get to modern day time, where the wall is over 8 feet tall, that wall, the helix of the wall, represents the growth of our nation over those years. Every generation of Americans builds a foundation for the next generation to stand on. And I know that you know it because I see the faces here in the crowd, and I see the young and the old and every point in between. And I know that we all celebrate that we're building a better community, we're building a better nation for those to stand on, and we have great role models because those who came before us did that for us. Now, the challenges of today may be vastly different than the challenges that we have faced in the past, but united under one flag, we as a nation can accomplish great things and do great works and make this world and our community a better place. So thank you tonight for being part of that, interwoven in one of those threads that Marty mentioned into the flag. And probably should thank our firefighters who had to go off and work tonight. So thank you to all of them who have left. And while we keep those thank yous going, can we get a big round of applause for our firemen who are still here, plus our police and all of our city officials who made tonight happen. We are also really lucky to be joined by just an unbelievable amount of Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and Scouts of all kinds. We have multiple Scout troops here. We have packs ranging from kindergartners to high schoolers. They have tables set up in the back. If you get time, please go ahead and talk to some of the Scouts. They do a lot to inspire patriotism in the next generation, and we're delighted to have them here. Also, we have a bunch of tables over here, in addition to seeing the honor flag, a piece of American history. We have our table right up front here where you can purchase coins and commemorative medallions and pens and other things about our Flag Day celebrations and our Flag Day monument. Next door to that, we've got a Write a Message to the Future. We have 2 time capsules that we will be sealing. One will be in 2025 that will be opened in 2050, and the other one is going to be sealed in 2025 that'll be open in 2075. So there's a pretty good chance I don't make it to 2075, but hey, you can leave a message to the future, and the cool thing about that is there's a big opportunity to write messages, and then we're going to take pictures of all those messages and include them in the time capsules that'll be sealed next year here at the monument. So an opportunity to communicate with the future and leave a message for the future. Also, there is a video messaging that is set up in the Peg Bond Center right behind us. So if you get time and feel inspired, go on video. Tell someone what the flag means to you. Tell someone what this community means to you, what being here with your neighbors, your friends, your family means, because that is all interwoven into the story of what makes our nation so amazing. As Marty mentioned, we're going to have great tours of the monument site if you want to go over and take a look. And then the community band is going to play a few more numbers in a few minutes here. And if nothing else, just sitting here and taking in the amazing music of our hardworking volunteers in the community band among your friends and neighbors in the community, which is great. One thing I do want to mention, the monument, as Marty mentioned, is continuing to live and breathe. So we dedicated it last year in 2023, but this year, at the 1-year anniversary, we will be putting additional tiles on the monument, and as more historic events and happenings occur, the monument will change over history, and we will continue to write America's story on the unfinished wall portion of the monument, which is really great. I get asked frequently which is my favorite plaque, and with almost 400 plaques on the monument, they're all great and they all have tremendous significance and importance. But I challenge you tonight to take 2 or 3 minutes and just walk into the monument and look for which one is your favorite. Mine is clear. It is a challenge to the future. It is the last plaque on the big wall, and it stands by itself. And it says, "The future is yours. It is yours to determine the peace we embrace, the culture we leave to our next generation, and what we inherit and give to the next generation." And it is a challenge to the future, us sitting here and those who come after us, to continue that legacy of building upon that generation for the next generation of Americans. Let's all do what we can to pull in the right direction and make this community and make this country great. And I know you guys are on board because you're standing here, sitting here today, participating in that, which is awesome. Tomorrow morning, we have another special thing occurring at the monument. We have a Liberty Tree dedication ceremony at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It is the first tree dedication ceremony in Illinois in preparation for the 250th anniversary of America's independence in 2026. Called America 250. The sons and daughters of the American Revolution will be here tomorrow with our group planting a tree over at the monument site. If you have time, please swing by. There will be a full honor guard there from the sons and daughters of the American Revolution, which would be great. And then as we talk about the continued evolvement of the monument, there are brick opportunities. There have been a number of new bricks since last year that have been purchased, and those have gone into the bricks around. There's plenty of opportunity if you get a chance to go and take a look at some of the messages that are left on the bricks. I think you'll be inspired as well. So thank you guys for being here today. This program is possible only because of the people sitting here and the people who have volunteered their time and effort. Included in that, we have a number of restaurants who are supportive of our cause. And if you are hungry and you're looking for somewhere to eat, I'd just like to mention a few restaurants who were very supportive and are doing red, white, and blue and Flag Day specials for today here in Batavia. So if you get a chance, the Batavia Creamery, Batavia Red Hots, Chicken Salad Chick out there on Randall Road, Daddy-O's Diner, Pal Joey's, the Batavia Popcorn Depot, where I hope I'll be stopping later with my family, Red Hive Market, Tea Tree, Windmill Grill and Pizza, Out and About, Dog Care and Boarding were all groups who have really done a lot to help support today. And if you get a chance to support those who have made today possible, that would be a good thing. And finally, the last thing I'd like to say is, on behalf of the hardworking men and women of the Fox Valley Patriotic Organization, the Flag Day Committee, and the 4th of July Committee, it brings me great pride to see so many patriotic Americans here together. And as I talked earlier, it takes a village to raise a community. We are part of that village, you here tonight. If you get a chance to go talk to somebody that you have never met, go do that. This is a community of great people who roll their sleeves up and get to work to make things great, and this is a community that I'm proud to be in and raise my family in. And I'm delighted to be here with all of you this evening celebrating Flag Day. So on behalf of the people who put this on, thank you for being here, and I encourage everybody to say hi to a neighbor, including my friends all the way in the back who came here early to stake out the spot. Thank you guys for being here really early. That was great to get your spot. I met new friends earlier, so I encourage everybody to go out there, meet somebody new. If you see a veteran like this gentleman sitting up front with the Vietnam veteran hat on, please thank him for his service and spend time together as a community, listening to this great band, and get involved, be part of this community. We are here, this community is great because hardworking Batavians make it great. Thank you very much, have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you over at the monument site. Thank you.
Yes.
And I forgot kind of a very major point here. Thank you for bringing it to my attention here. The Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and all the Scouts, at this point in time, if they could arrange over here, I see them waving to us. We are doing a human flag, which is something that's going to be super cool. So we did this on the 100th anniversary of Flag Day on June 14th in 2016. We actually closed down Houston Street, I think. And so we have these placards that are red, white, and blue placards. And so we are going to have some drone photography, some drones flying over here in a second that is going to take a picture. And if the volunteers can start to get their placards ready, that would be great. And we'd encourage everybody here to come on over there and hold a placard. This is going to be recorded in the time capsule with the 2016. So if you were here in 2016 and you were part of it, be here in 2024 and take a picture. So we encourage everybody, if you can, to get up, head right over here to the parking lot, join the Scouts. We need a lot of volunteers to get these this human flag assembled with these placards. So while we're doing that, the community band is going to be playing some awesome music, and I hope to see everybody over there. Thank you very much.
Might have been the guy on the right.
want to tell you something. You're going to be able to hear us if you're over here, and you're going to be able to hear us if you're over there. But if you don't go over there, that's not going to be an American flag. So I would think you might want to go over there.